Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole, and today we'll be previewing the first meeting of 2022 here in Darwin, which will be this Saturday, of course, New Year's Day, the 1st of January. With a fortnight since our last meeting and some welcome rainfall and cooler weather over Christmas, a total of 42 horses have accepted for the six-race card on New Year's Day. Some tricky contests are in store, with some promising horses down to do battle at the first of three meetings in the top end in the month of January. The first is the Silks 421 Happy Hour Handicap, time to go at 2:04 p.m, with the last of the half dozen scheduled at 5:18 p.m. In the first, the Class 2 event over 1,300 metres, my numbers are 2, 3 and 1. Found this a tricky event to get the day underway, but settled on the numbers of 2, 3, 1. Number 2 for me here, and it'll probably be some odds too, A Real Reason. Trained by Tayan Halter, who trained a winner at the last meeting here with Don't Wait. Sonia Wiseman takes the mount here on Real Reason. Drawn the inside gate, and I just liked its run last time for third. That was behind New Roman. It's going up in trip here, and I believe it's an improver. It's taken a little while to hit its straps here in Darwin, has Real Reason, but I think now with that first show of decent form under the belt, can go on with the job. So number 2 on top for me. Ahead of number 3, Savaspur from the stable of Chris Pollard, and Alice Springs-based apprentice Janis Luxeman takes the mount here. Janis has got 4 rides on the day, and of course rode his first territory winner at the last meeting in Alice Springs pre-Christmas. Savaspur was second here on the 18th of December. Janis rode on that occasion. Ran on well after missing the jump on that occasion, or certainly getting back in the field. Didn't miss the jump, got back in the run. And I think the 1,300 metres, it was 1,300 last time, will suit. That was a 64, this the Class 2. And then for third, number 1, the Albion. Comes off a last start win on Melbourne Cup Day, the 2nd of November. Trained, of course, by Pete Stennett and Paul Shires in the saddle. Putting together a pretty good record. 6 starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and must be in the mix first up over the trip of 1,300. Numbers in the first, 2, 3 and 1. The second's the Happy New Year Handicap. This is the average benchmark event. It's an average benchmark of 70, and it's over the 1,100 metres. We have no 1,200 metre races on New Year's Day, but we do have 3 1,100 metre affairs, and this is the first of those. Numbers in the event, 5, 4 and 1. Only a field of 5 to go around here. Gary Clark holds the key with number 5, Bell's Banner, and number 4, Mr. Cashman. I've got them to finish in that order. She's only had the 2 starts in Darwin, Bell's Banner, but she's been very, very impressive, running scintillating times over the 1,000 metres on the 16th of October and then the 4th of December. Jared Todd has ridden on both occasions. He takes the mount again. She's up in grade, certainly, and up in trip, but judged on the way she's been going and with the minimum weight of 55 kilograms to carry, she looks the horse to beat again. Ahead of her stablemate, number 4, Mr. Cashman. Trained by Gary, of course, Sonia Wiseman aboard. Seems to be an improving type. The last couple of runs have been third placings. The most recent in benchmark 76 grade behind Master Radi, who has such a good record here in Darwin. Certain to be right in the mix, Mr. Cashman. Don't know if it'll be any match for its stablemate, but should run well. And then for third, number 1, the resuming NT Guineas winner from last season in Trident. Paul Shires aboard for mark 9. Has had a good spell, hasn't raced since Darwin Cup Day, but as I mentioned, did win the Guineas, ran third in the Derby. He's a quality individual and he should sprint well in a fresh state. So the numbers in the second, 5, 4 and 1. The third's the Great Northern Trobus Maiden Plate. Obviously over 1,100 metres for the non-winners. A field of half a dozen here, numbers 2, 4 and 3. Expert witness for me, number 2, Gary Lafoe trains. Paul Shires in the saddle, could be in for a pretty good day, Shearsy. Has some nice rides on the program and has a ride in every race, incidentally. Expert witness was down to run here at the last meeting, but was a late scratching, had a little bit of mucus, I understand, in its windpipe and its nose, so that bit of a discharge forced its scratching on that occasion. Gary wouldn't be lining it up if it hadn't come through that okay. The 3-year-old by Star Witness. Trialled okay when I saw the horse have a trial outing just a few weeks ago. So safely through that little setback, I've got it on top. Number 2, Expert Witness to beat number 4, Kick It Baby for Phil Cole. Casey Hunter aboard, having its 12th start now, Kick It Baby, but has run the 3 second placings from those 11 starts to date. Second last time out to Cometh the Hour was a pretty good run, sure to be right in the party. And in for third, number 3, Malibu Edition, trained by Tom Logan, Sonia Wiseman in the saddle. Liked its run here last time, over 1,200 metres, finished third to Cometh the Hour. Going back in trip, probably not ideal, but I've got it in the trifecta. Numbers 2, 4 and 3. The fourth's the Ladbroke Summer Sprint Series Handicap. It's the first leg of the Summer Sprint Series and also a heat of the Lightning Wet Season Series, which has certainly been an interesting series to date, with the final of that to be run on Australia Day, and the Summer Sprint Series that goes through for culmination in the middle of March. Numbers here in the event, which is over 1,100 for the 0 to 64 gallopers, going here with 5, 1 and 3. It's only had the one start in Darwin, Razoo, but he was very impressive for Gary Clark and Jared Todd, winning here on the 11th of December. That was over 1,000, this over 1,100, but he was very impressive, as we mentioned, won by 4 1/4 lengths. He's going up in grade, but he did run very good time in that first up win, and hard to see anything here that can lower his colours. So I've got him on top 5 to beat number 1, Overruled. Just a model of consistency, this little gelding trained by Emma Steele, and Adam Nichols takes them out. His only ride for the day, Chippy. Carries 60.5 kilograms after Christmas lunch. I think he can just about make that. And Overruled, been really consistent, as we mentioned. 3 wins from his last 5 starts. Last time out, it was only third. That was over 1,300. I just think that stretched the horse's stamina limits. But back to the 1,100, he's sure to run well. And in for third, number 3, New Roman. Comes off the back of a last start win. That was the 11th of December in Class 2 grade. Trained, of course, by Kerry Petrick, Casey Hunter aboard. Comes out of the Tried Horse Sale. Those horses are really racing well now in the top end and in Alice Springs. And it completes my trifecta there of 5, 1 and 3. The fifth is the Sportsmans Luncheon on the 18th of February Handicap. Just not sure who the special guest is there, but look out for that on the Darwin Turf Club website. This way over the 1,000 metres, the benchmark 54. Numbers here, 1, 7 and 2. Very strong win here last time, number 1, Don't Wait, trained by Tayan Holter, and Stan Sakos was aboard on that occasion, takes the mount again. That was at our last meeting here on the 18th of December in benchmark 54 grade, so same grade again. Does have another couple of kilos to carry, but now that it's back in winning form, really consistent galloper, Don't Wait, should go on with the job. 1 on top. To beat number 7, Toorak Road, Chris Pollard trains, Janesh Luxemon in the saddle. 5th here the other day behind Don't Wait. Didn't think it was a bad run. Loomed up around the home turn and just sort of flattened out over the concluding stages. But its earlier form was solid, and back to the 1,000, at which it has had 10 starts for 6 thirds, would you believe? So looking to break that run of minor placings over the trip. And in for third, number 2, Another Bit. Gary Clark trains, Jared Todd rides. Been racing in 0 to 64 company, and back to the benchmark 54, you could do worse than including it in your multiples, number 2. Numbers in the 5th, 1, 7 and 2. And in the last, the High Gain Handicap, this one over the 1,600 metres. We haven't had one of these for a few weeks. Over the mile, this for the 0 to 64 gallopers. 2, 1 and 4 are my numbers. Number 2, Against the Tide, racing well for Emma Steele. Stan Sakos takes them out here. Good third last time behind Noble War. That was in benchmark 54 grade, but had been racing in higher grade prior to that, including a benchmark 76 run behind No Say In It when it was only beaten 2.8 lengths. Goes up and trip from that last start, 1,300 back to the mile. I think will suit Against the Tide. Got it on top. To beat number 1, Count of Essex, the trip will help him. He's had 3 wins, 5 seconds, 6 thirds from his 23 starts over the mile. Gary Clark trains. Paul Shires goes back on, has a pretty good association with Count of Essex, and the last start, 4th placing over 1,100, I thought was probably a good pipe opener for this 1,600. And then for third, number 4, Really Swish. Trained by Chris Pollard, Janesh Luxemon in the saddle. This was the one that missed the jump last time. Very slow out and rattled home pretty well, I thought, to run 4th. Carries 53.5 kilograms with Janesh's 3 kilo claim, and that brings it right into the mix here over the 1,600. Numbers in the last are 2, 1 and 4. The best bet comes up in race 2. You won't get rich though. Number 5, Bell's Banner, should just be winning again. She's a very smart sprinting mare, I believe. trained by Gary Clark, of course. Race 2, number 5, Bell's Banner. Well, the best roughies in race 4, number 7, Brazen Pine. This one having its first start here in Darwin, trained by Phil Cole. Watched it trial a couple of times recently, and it has impressed me enough to certainly make it the best roughie on the card. Well, that wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk, but we'll be back again in a fortnight in advance of our second meeting for January here in Darwin. That, of course, the 15th of January. In the meantime, have a safe and bright new year. And let's hope in 2022 we have lots of winners and a lot less COVID. Until next time, good luck and good punting.